Hi everyone. Today I would like to talk about databases, and especially about relational databases and what issues usually do happen with them in production. But first of all, why are relational databases used and how they are usually set up. So relational databases are still very relevant. Of course, there are many other options, many NoSQL options nowadays. But first of all, if application has transactional workloads, if it needs consistency, acidity, then relational databases is the first choice usually. And also in some cases, application has a schema with many relations, then relational databases would be chosen as well. Finally, many engineers, they do have experience with relational databases. They know how to work with them, and that's why they would also, when developing, for example, their microservice, they would also choose relational database like MySQL or PostgreSQL or any other. However, when we come into cloud and start working with relational databases, we usually would prefer using them as a managed service. If we are talking about AWS, it would be RDS. So why managed service? Why not to host them on EC2 instance, for example? So the answer is support. So on EC2 instance, it's much effort to support it, and especially in production. So I mean, it's possible to run them on EC2 instance, for example, in testing environments and development environments, especially if you would like to save some costs. But when it comes to production, especially, then it's worth having RDS instead, or any other managed database service. It will help you with updates, it will help you with replications and other stuff. But obviously it won't solve all the possible issues that might happen. For example, if the DB is under load, and this is what usually causes problems, is when you have high load on DB, it can get out of storage, it can be overloaded with calls, so it can have too high CPU, it can have too high memory consumption, and such issues, they usually tend to happen. Another aspect is replication. So if you run one instance of database, then replication, it won't be an issue for you, but in production, if the service needs to be reliable, also if you want to balance workloads, and you can create one or multiple read replicas, for example, and move the read workloads to read replicas. And also, of course, it would be way better for promotion in case you have issues with master. You have read replica in place, which can be quickly promoted, however, usually with some downtime, but still with way lower downtime than restoring the backup. But you still need to keep in mind that if your application runs 24/7, if you don't have any hours when database can be stopped for any maintenance, then you should keep in mind that there are major version updates of DBs, for example, and they would often require restarts. Or say you want to change some parameters that require restarts of DBs, and such restarts would cause downtimes still, unless you do some tricks, like for example blue-green deployments of databases. So you create a new DB with required parameters or required version, copy all the data there, and at some moment you switch. This would help you avoid downtime or major downtime, but still you would have some, because think of DB that has write workloads all the times, and you want to keep everything consistent. You don't want to have any collisions of data. Think even if you go with blue-green deployment, at some moment when you switch the traffic, and you switch your DNSs, you cannot guarantee that writes do not happen to both masters simultaneously. And this is a very hard thing to avoid. Usually it takes less than a minute, so these updates, they happen faster. But it's highly recommended at this moment, if your data is critical, to stop writes to database, to make the source database read-only, so you are sure that writes do not happen in blue and green DB simultaneously, because replication in most cases won't handle it gracefully, any collisions, I mean. So this is a very important aspect here. And now also a couple of words about monitoring of DBs, because in production, if you have high workloads, monitoring of DBs is crucial, and it's very important to set up alerts, because even a DB which has, for example, enough storage, enough RAM, enough CPU, which is unused, it still can get overloaded easily. And in real system, I've seen situations when, as an example, the development team makes a new update to application, and they make a new changes to schema of the database. So they need to update each and every record to generate some values for a new column, for example, and then it would put a lot of workload. They, for example, will run a cron job in the night, and in the night your database can get overloaded in any of CPU, memory, or storage in any of this resource, and this would be an issue. So please always keep monitoring it and keep setting up reasonable alerts, so you get alerted. And because as a result of such overloads, you would lose data. Or DB, if it's a high CPU, DB won't be able to respond to your queries. So yeah, thank you very much. That's it for today. I've talked about relational databases, and also next time I will talk about migration of relational databases. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you.